Sorry about that. One rehydrated dog later, we're ready to move on. Now, we want to be careful because sometimes we're going to be given something like this. If I am given, for example, let's say I have a number like 1/25th, which is a fraction that could come up. 1/25th, 25 is not 10, 100, or 1,000, but right away you might look at it and say, well, Mr. V, 25 will go into 100 4 times. So really what you're looking at is 4 hundredths. This is where we want to be careful because remember what we said the rule for reading this was. The last number you say out of the whole number marks its place value, where that number has to be located. This is not 4 tenths. This is 4 hundredths. Well, that creates a bit of an issue for us because I have my decimal point. What's that next place value? That's the tenths place. The next place value is the hundredths. I cannot leave it like this. That doesn't look right. That can't even be read. That comes across as 4 tenths. But the problem is there's nothing in the tenths. We're saying 4 out of 100 pieces, 4 hundredths. There are no tens. There's not 14. It's not 24. It's not 34. So just like we would, for example, if we're writing a date for a month, how do we represent a single-digit number as a date in a month? We put a 0 before it. So in this case, there is no value in that tenths place, so showing no value, we put a 0 down. 4 hundredths. Be very careful on this because we tend to forget that, oh yeah, that's moved over a space. That cannot be in that place value, that tenths place, because then I'm saying really it has a value of 40 hundredths. 40 out of 100, if I'm going to put 4, and I put a 0 after it to get that hundredths place, that's now 40 out of 100, not 4 out of 100. So we need to be very careful about that. We can do this with a mixed number as well. If I have, for example, 3 2/5. Well, 3 2/5. There's my whole number 3. Fraction 2/5. I need to find an equivalent fraction for 2/5 that gives the denominator a value of 10, 100, or 1,000. And in this case, times 2. 2 times 5 is 10. Now, we don't do anything to the whole number because the whole number is a full value. We don't have to touch it. But the new mixed number is going to be 3 4 tenths because 2/5 is also 4 tenths. Now we write it as our decimal. The 3 goes to the left of the decimal. It's in the ones place. The 4 tenths goes just to the right, 4 tenths. So it should look like this, 3 4 tenths. Okay? All right. I have to stop at this point because I think we're almost out of time. If you have any questions, definitely come and ask tomorrow, and we will continue on with this as we go through the week. Have a good evening. Well, a part 2 gives us time to actually do a couple practice problems, so I guess we should be happy for that. If you don't have time for that, feel free to stop at this time. These are just some other problems for you to try out on your own. So I've written up 4 problems here, and we're going to start with the first one real quick here, 6 7/20. And all I'd like you to do right now, copy that down, hit pause, and then when you come back, we'll check that one together, all right? Now, I'm assuming you've hit pause and you're coming back at this point. And so let's look at this. 6 is the whole number, so that will go to the left of the decimal. That's in the ones place. To the right of the decimal goes our fraction, or our decimal now. 20ths is not a 10, 100, or 1,000, but 20ths can be converted to, it can be found an equivalent fraction, I should say, at the hundredths. So 5 times 20 is 100, 5 times 7 is 35. So hopefully if you did this correctly, you came up with 6 and 35 hundredths. Let you check it right now. That 35, of course, comes from the 5 I multiplied the 20 by. Remember, whatever I do to the denominator must be done to the numerator. Let's try another one. 27 and 3/5. I'll give you a moment to copy that, and I'll give you a moment to hit pause right now. And now we'll check it together. 27 and 3/5. So 27 is my whole number. Now this time I have a tens place and a ones place, as well as I'm going to have a tenths, THS sound, tenths. That's meaning that decimal side there, and a hundredths place. So hopefully you came up with 27 as your whole number, 27 and, so follows the decimal follows that. 5 goes into tenths times 2. I'm sorry, did I say earlier we'd have a hundredths? We won't, will we? We're only going to have a tenths. Getting ahead of myself. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6. So we have 6 tenths. 27 and 6 tenths. It's getting very late, isn't it? We need to get this done. All right, my next one is 6 100ths. Now, 6 100ths, if you look here, gave you a little easier one. 6 100ths. You don't have to find an equivalent because I don't need a tenths and I don't need a thousandths here. I have the hundredths. But remember, this is one of those tricky ones. So let's see what you come up with for it. Right now, hit pause. And while you are coming back here, we'll take a look at it. Remember, to the right of the decimal point, the first place is the tenths place. 6 100ths does not have a tenths. If it were 16, 26, 36, 46, I'd have a number in the tenths place. But because it does not have a number in the tenths place, there is no number before that 6, it is going to be a 0 in the tenths place, and you should have had a 6 in the hundredths, and your decimal should look like this right here, 6 hundredths. All right, last one, 3/20ths. Okay, so 3/20ths. Give you a moment to try it. Hit pause right now, write it down. Let's see how you do. We'll see if yours matches mine now. Hopefully you're back with me here. And you should have ended up with 15 hundredths. 20 times 5 is 100. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 hundredths. Hopefully those went well for you. Well, we're going to continue working with these, and we're going to continue practicing them. They're from our Chapter 9 in R Math, so if you need to go through and look at some examples, that's the place to go to look. Have a good evening. I hope everybody has a wonderful day tomorrow.